Yes, I'll say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Chris, and I'm dialing in from Haywards Heath in the UK. And yeah, we just got here for the convention that's going to be this weekend. And so tonight, on the silver screen, I've got Shasta Jordan, which is one of my best friends, Darren. It's Darren's wife. We've known each other for about 14 years, and we've walked a very long journey together. And we had the honor of having Shasta on the stage at our last convention in Johannesburg in May. Not May, yes, it was May. May. And let me tell you that the topic that Shasta spoke about was called the magic of network marketing. And, this is coupled in together with this amazing product that we are sitting on. And it was so apt. A lot of people met Warren. You all know Warren Mayers, who was in pain for 1,854 days. And we know what happened when he put the patch on his body and how it's completely transformed his life. And very shortly after that, Warren and I were having a talk, and we spoke about the patches. And he said, Chris, these patches are magic. These patches are magic. It actually does more than what David Schmidt says the product does. And we're talking on many different levels, coupled with this beautiful industry that we are in, that we should be proud to say that we are in the network marketing industry, because I was exposed to the industry when I was 22 years old for a short time frame. And you all heard the saying, when Pandora's box is opened, you can never close it again. And I've been searching for many, many years, waiting for the right company to cross my path. And when LifeWave did, I grabbed this with both hands. And there's been a lot of improvements in the network marketing industry. We all know that we work on a binary system, which, if you ask me, this is the eighth wonder of the world. So with Darren and Shasta, I remember speaking to them. It was about March in 2023. We spoke about LifeWave. And then Darren and Shasta only joined a year later. And I need to tell you guys the story, because a lot of people think, oh, well, a person kind of, they haven't got back to me, or they haven't quite said no, but they're busy. But what we do is we make too many assumptions in our minds and thinking, oh, person's not interested. But then a year later, when Shasta and Darren phoned us and said, okay, Chris, we're now ready to join. That was a year later. And I asked Shasta, I said, we did speak. What happened in that year? And Shasta said there was a lot of personal things that they were going through in their life. And we need to take cognizance of this, guys. You're not going to talk to a person tonight and tomorrow they're going to sign up at a diamond. There's the real world that we live in. And everybody's on their own journey, and it's all about timing. And, people will come and join us on this incredible journey when people are good and ready. And like I said, we had Shasta on the stage, and I was like blown away. The magic of network marketing. And Shasta only had a 10-minute slot. And afterwards I said, you've got to tell the extended, raw, uncut version of what you did in 10 minutes, because 10 minutes, I can see Johnny nodding his head. 10 minutes wasn't enough. So I asked Shasta, I said, please, can you do an extended training on the magic of network marketing? So guys, get your pens and paper out. Get ready to take a lot of notes, because Shasta is going to completely blow your mind with the input and the wisdom and knowledge that she's going to be sharing with everybody here tonight. So without any further ado, Shasta, magic of network marketing, take it away.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, I was actually introduced to LifeWave in February of 2020. And it took me, I think we signed up in March of 2024. So it was a long journey. And it's because it's the sort of thing that it's in the back of your mind, but until you have a need, a real need, you're probably not going to actually sign up. And for me, I didn't have any health needs, but my husband did. And eventually, I realized we needed to do something more. And that's when we got hold of Chris and said, right, we're ready, because we had the need. So often you'll touch somebody and they just don't have quite enough of a need, but that will come at some point, and they'll remember in the back of their heads the conversation that they had with you. So, hi, I'm Shasta, and I've been in network marketing since 2018, and I love doing this way of business. I have 4 children, 2 are grown up, 2 are at home with me, and it's been a very interesting journey for me with network marketing, because it's been about personal growth. It's personal development. You can't do this business without also really working on your own personal development. It's not like any other kind of business where, you can either just crunch the numbers or earn your commission. It's very, very different in that respect, because you are working to levels, and every time you up level by rank, you also have to up level your belief system. So I'm going to be speaking about that a little bit today as well. So most of us here say yes to network marketing because of its explosive potential. It's unlimited. So when we begin with the very basics of this industry, which is your network, the magic is it can only grow. There's sometimes a story in people's heads that say, well, my group has actually shrunk. I've touched everybody that I can, but that's never true. Your market only grows. You cannot exhaust your network. It's not possible, because when a product like this works, the people that you have already signed up will refer, and so it goes on. And the magic is that you don't have to distribute products. You don't have to create a shop. You don't have to create a ship portal or a website or invoicing. It's all there. Your only requirement is your monthly spend in order to earn, and this is like paying your office rental. Only you have the bonus of receiving the highest quality healing products on the market to use for yourself every single day. It's absolute genius. And this is the magic of network marketing. The systems are there. The pioneers before you have created the foundations, but ultimately it is your business. So you have the power of choice as to how to find your own authentic path. And I'm going to speak about that a little bit more as well. But the maps are in place. And Chris speaks often about replication. So I'm not going to go on about replication. You've all you've been touched with how to replicate. Your mentor will have told you all of that. Today, I am going to be speaking on probably quite a different level, and that is more about how to truly begin to up level in multi-level marketing. So a huge advantage in this industry is that anyone can do this with their other businesses and interests, and you can keep doing other things and do network marketing, or you can choose to eventually just do this. And I love that you get to choose your lifestyle with this. But what's really important that I love about this kind of business is that I find spaces for it to flow within my life, so that this business can still grow and thrive. And especially in the beginning, when it's not necessarily realistic for most of us to give up our jobs. We've still got bills to pay. And when you're starting with network marketing, you are paying in for your product, and then you're beginning to build your organization. And while that's happening, there's a bit of play. You still need to be having income coming from somewhere else. So for me, the most important thing, and this is what I'm saying to people who are just starting out, who haven't made manager yet, or just making manager, finding the spaces and using the spaces is the most important part and one of the golden opportunities of network marketing. It's using those spaces. You can choose to scroll on social media, and I've said this so many times, for 10 minutes between meetings, school runs, waiting for your padel game, waiting for the dentist, or you can choose to network, you can choose to answer questions, you can choose to learn more about LifeWave, you can watch 10-minute segments and info sessions, you can read some of Chris's toolbox in those 10 minutes. And those 10 minutes devoted to growing your LifeWave business between your normal day, on some days it can make up 2 or 3 hours. And one day you'll be able to walk out of your 9-to-5 job. So I love this business because whether you're a healthcare practitioner being paid by the hour or you're working for a boss, all of those jobs, when you retire, that's it. Your skills go to the grave with you. It's not something that you can hand over to your children. I love this business because I'm growing a legacy. And I've been in network marketing, and I still run another network marketing business. But I felt like that was my playground, and I'm very new to LifeWave. So for me, the most important thing has been learning about the product. But what excites me is that we grow a legacy that we can step out of at any time, or when we move on or pass on, we've left this living legacy that has the potential to continue to grow and give somebody else passive income as well. And I absolutely love that. You can do it at just about any age. You can do it with any kind of education, 10 degrees, no degrees. The most humble can do this and succeed. The magic is in the opportunity. You can be in a wheelchair, on a disability grant, but you can still earn. You can do it alone. You can do it with a mentor. There's just so many reasons to love this industry, but a huge one for me, and Chris shows this, he leads the way with this daily, is that it gives you permission to dream big. Without the daily grind of giving your hours away to a company, this is yours. It's your company that you're building. And because this is yours, organically, you begin to dream bigger and to give yourself something to chase and reach for. So being in this kind of industry is the inspiration. You meet inspiring people and you're sharing an inspiring product. We don't sell, we share. And this is freedom. And for me, it's one of the greatest advantages is bringing this freedom. You have the freedom not only to do it your way, but you can create freedom in your life. And this brings me to the greatest magic of all and the very foundation of success in this industry, that while we strive to grow a business, because of the very nature of this kind of structure, you are absolutely forced to work on yourself and to do the inner work. To be successful in network marketing, you absolutely have to do the inner work, because internal work is the most important thing to do to remove limitations within, so that you don't limit your business. Your internal limitations will limit your business. And because this is always a work in progress, there is no end destination. Your network is ever expanding. It has no end. It has no limits if you do the inner work as well. Because in truth, we're conditioned to limit ourselves. We do it all the time. But the trick is to adapt to yesterday's version of you. You get to ask, who do I really want to be today? It's not who you were yesterday. That was yesterday's version of you. So we tend to restrict our own growth, and I want to speak more about that today. So a question that I often ask myself when I get up in the morning is, how can I be more free than yesterday? So network marketing can take someone from being a no one to someone who's senior presidential director. You don't have to limit yourself. If you don't limit yourself, you don't limit your future freedom. But freedom is a scale. And it's your job with LifeWave to become more free every day. But you have to keep asking yourself, where am I limiting myself? And so doing that inner work, it's absolutely necessary to increase your energetic capacity in order to attract what you need. If you're not increasing your energetic capacity, you won't continue to attract what you need. You can reach plateaus and you don't quite get past that. So for me, in network marketing, the most important thing has been personal development. You can allow this kind of business to be the ultimate tool for personal transformation, because with every rank, there's a belief system in place. And so you're forced to upgrade your beliefs with each rank to gain more ease, to gain more power, to gain more freedom. It's liberating and it's empowering. But as Chris is showing us very often, and our other leaders are showing us, you have to master the walk, and then you can walk forever. And this is something that I am still in process of learning. And it's exciting. It's exciting. But this was one of the things that I really had to get a grip on. Understand, truly understand what makes LifeWave special. It's a gift. You can't compare it to anything else. And it's really important to look at your entry point with what LifeWave was. Really look at it. For me, it was to help my husband with his health concerns, but I had already been introduced to LifeWave as by somebody who was motivated to introduce me for the business aspect. And Chris as well, he was like, this is a business you guys have to do. But like I said, it was 3 years before I had enough need, and I was approached by several different people. But it wasn't until I saw that need and joined that the business started to make sense for me, because you have to believe in the product, and then LifeWave changes your life, and then that's the tool for transformation. But here's the other thing that I've seen is that a lot of people don't have change on their radar. So no amount of convincing will make these people benefit from putting a sticker on their body. So you're looking for people who want change. Those are the people that you're bringing to LifeWave. You don't chase people who don't want change, because people have to have desire for change. And if you see that desire, then you know that you're speaking to the right person and you're not wasting your time. Because if somebody doesn't have the desire for change, there's nothing to coach that person on. Not their health, not their wealth, not anything. Not everyone wants change. But we need to take care of our own well-being and transformation so that we are not limited. We don't limit other people, and we don't limit ourselves, and we're not limited by others. So I've really loved the journey with LifeWave. It's life gets bigger. Life gets bigger with LifeWave, the experience of life. But you know, when you really start working in this multi-level marketing model, in this network marketing, these referral models, you can't understand how small your life was until you've entered this bigger way of living. So if you don't have the desire, nobody can do it for you. So that's a really important one as well in this business. You need to have the desire. You need to be saying to yourself, I don't want to live life small. I want an amplified life. If you can say that to yourself enough, that amplification really does begin to touch you. So I want to speak very briefly about how companies like LifeWave are changing how business is done. The foundation is integrity. It's not based on competition. We are actually, we need each other to succeed. That's part of the magic of network marketing. You need a good mentor. We need each other to succeed. We have these kind of meetings where we all learn from each other. And that is really incredible. It is the way of the future. So it's the greatest gift, that it can be this vehicle of change, because with a company like this as well, you become a vessel of light. And I can't say that enough, because transformation is when we take suffering and we turn it into love. And often you will be putting a patch on somebody and you will be transforming their suffering. And the back flip of that is that they'll see love. because that's what opens up. You transform pain into love and light, and you take everything that is not love and you're transforming it into love. And sorry, everything that is not love, and you're transforming that into love. So we're taking the darkness and we're transforming it into light, fear, not love, not into fear, into love. So it allows us to move into higher frequencies and states. And a little bit later, I'll be speaking more about some of the blockages that we have in network marketing that I've had to really look at for myself. And this transformation is also transforming collective fear, guilt, shame, and leaders in this industry are here to do the transformational work and increase energetic capacity. And that is so important. As we teach, we transform. As we share, we transform. We're saying yes to a higher mission. And in doing so, we're also saying yes. And I said this before, we're saying yes to more suffering. Because we've transformed our own suffering, we can now listen clearly to other people's suffering to help them to transform. We're building a body that is able to hyper speed transform stuff. That's what the patches do for us. And it's incredible. I can feel it. I can feel how by transforming within my own self, my light body, I am starting to move into a hyper speed. But I've had to experience this for myself before I can move to the next levels in my own business. You have to experience it. If you're not experiencing for yourself, it's not authentic. So you've got to patch, people. You've got to patch. You can't sit there thinking that you can share patches without patching yourself. Try them all. Try different ways of using it so that you can understand it as well for other people. So yeah, we're here to transform a whole lot of stuff, and to obviously create our own love story. You've got to fall in love with the company. You've got to fall in love with the product. Both. It's both. And this is also where I have to come to with self-partnership and communication, because this is another piece of magic. Your first partnership is with you. You yourself is the most important in this. And you have to learn to communicate with yourself and to hear the things you're telling yourself, both the positive, the negative, the unconscious, the guilt, shame, the fear. You've got to coach and lead yourself constantly. Mentors can help mirror and reflect and tell us when we're not reaching our potential or even understanding our own potential. But really, in this business, and you can write this one down, communicating with yourself in the way that will help you to get you to where you want to go is absolutely paramount. Because we have to become conscious to truth and go out there and live your life in a way that matches the way that you want to live in this truth. And this is why this is not a usual training. You're hearing probably things that you're not going to hear in your usual trainings, because this is really about matching your frequency. So if you don't, you're disrupting your own communication field and you're making a mess of your mental body and your energetic body. So honest and true communication with yourself is the key to becoming authentic in how you're sharing this business. You have to reorganize your mental patterns. And this has been a huge challenge for me, is the reorganization of my own mental patterning in order to truly understand, how do I live authentically? Where do I want to go? And here's the thing, the patches make this easier to do because they are repatterning for you. So you can get out of your own way more easily because you're using an incredible tool to be the change. It's just phenomenal. And I get so excited when I speak about it because it's incredible. You can become more of yourself and you will be bigger and more potent because you have clearer communication with yourself. And I'm going to say more about that because communication for me is a huge thing when it comes to the LifeWave patches, because what are these patches teaching us to do. These patches are teaching your bodies, the cells in your body communication. They're teaching your cells how to communicate with each other. And that is the biggest thing with these patches. When you put them on, you're retraining your cellular body. LifeWave patches are about communication within your body system. And if your cells are communicating with more cognizance and coherence, so will everything else begin to as well. And you are in charge of your own inner communication. But for me, the basics of the patches is about the internal communication of the cellular body. And this is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So yeah, I think, in this business, it's about having a clear agreement with yourself and then going out and enrolling people in this way. And because you're already in alignment with yourself. So yeah, there's a scale. There's a scale to all of this. You're not looking outside of yourself, but you're seeing that everything's inside. And it's an inside game. And we use LifeWaves as a tool for transformation. Use it as you change and as you transform, and you become more magnetic. And the money becomes the byproduct. It's because suddenly you're not in such a toxic place anymore. You have a cleaner footprint. You're not going around in circles. You're starting to spiral up, and your experience of life is bigger. There's no end to the expansion. It goes on and on. So our expansion journey, there's times on this expansion journey that you need to see where you're self-sabotaging. For me, my self-sabotage, it can be a mess, right? But if you're motivated enough and you keep patching and you also have to have the intelligence to understand why you are patching, what it is that you're working on at any given time. We're changing and evolving all the time. What I started patching for is no longer the same reason that I patch anymore. You could start patching because of health issues, but you're still patching. And your gut, it doesn't hurt anymore, but you're still patching. So your why starts to change. And if you really tune into that and become extremely intentional with it, that's when the expansion journey really starts to happen. You get motivated enough to escape the cage because you get so tired of your own bullshit. I was going to really swear there. It's just, you get so tired of your own bullshit. And so eventually you have to escape and move into more expansion. And with the LifeWave patches, you're able to transform quickly and more regularly and feel it in your body and in your energy system. And so you move past your limitations more quickly. We are playing with limited energy to become liberated. Like, where is my limitation? Okay, now it's here. Now it's here. We're changing all the time. And it becomes light and fun. It's not about lack anymore. It's about fun. And if you are giving that energy of lightness and fun, because these patches are fun, it's about having fun with your body as well. Like, wow, about becoming liberated. But that helps other people to feel super safe with you. And that's huge, because if you're having fun with your own self and within your own body, and people can see those changes, they start to feel really safe with you. And so your job starts to become how to stay in your power, have your boundaries, know when you're giving too much power away, and then take care of your life force energy, especially as you go up into the higher ranks. Where Chris is, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, okay, I need, we have to learn some lessons. And as I've ranked higher in my other business, I'm having to learn where my boundaries are and how much I'm giving away, how much energy is going outwards, where my leaks are, plug some of the leaks, and keep the strong boundaries. Because, there can come a time where we have to assess, are we selling our energy? And that is a dangerous place to be. So, yeah. Another thing that I listened to one of Chris's talks, or he spoke to me a while ago, and he spoke about, I'll put it in my own words, evolution of a personal brand, but he was speaking about the different segments of where you are in business. Like, what are you really doing? And this made me really contemplate, are you building a hobby or are you building an empire? I can't build an empire. Chris might be, Ravi might be, but I can't build an empire because I haven't put the data through my cellular body yet. So you still have to take all those baby steps to get to the next level. And so what is your evolution of your personal business brand? We all start at hobby, right? We all have to. That's where we all start. But at some point, we have to get clarity on what we are building and what the future version of you is and how far you desire to go. So when we create a hobby, we spend time and energy on deepening our understanding and the wisdom and for something that we love and we have a passion for, because it elevates our life, and well, we have a passion for it. But for most of us, that it's a hobby because we're not really making money from it yet, right? We're spending money on it. We're getting to learn what it is, but it's not a business yet. And so when you find LifeWave, we all have to, we start at that level, but then when we build it into a business, that's when, with something that started as a passion, that's when we have to upgrade our belief systems. And we also have to do a lot of work to understand how the business works. And, you might get zero pay at the beginning, but you then move into from hobby to self-employed. You earn a salary to pay your bills, but you still have the employee mindset, right? You're just there to pay the bills. So that I'm having to constantly be confronted with my own limitations with this. What is that? That's an employee mindset, right? You're paying your bills, but you haven't jumped to being your own boss completely, because in a company, you're building a business is bigger. You might start to earn 6 figures and above. It's a different mindset to just paying the bills. You're running your own business. You're making more than just paying the bills, but where's the next place to go? Have you put the data through your body? Are you trying to jump from hobby to company where you're starting to earn $1 million plus? You can't do that. We've got to go through all the steps. We've got to put the information through our body. We can't do the skipping. And if you're trying to skip, or if you're thinking I should be, without doing that internal work along the way, you're really, really, really going to struggle to meet the next stage and actually be in it, embody, and then move to the next. And so I want to build a company. I want to have a team that's big. Am I ready for empire? No, I'm not. But I'm ready to start looking at what it looks like to have a company that is a much larger organization. But an empire is several companies, several businesses, gathering them all into that empire. We start as hobby, but you've got to future level yourself up. Level 1, 2, 3, future level yourself. What are you building? And where are you right now? Be honest with where you are. Is it still a hobby? Or are you actually at a business now? Are you ready to move into creating a company? And which consciousness am I tapping into? What's the potential I'm tapping into? So when I look at the wholeness of it, LifeWave is an empire. That's the empire, right? He's built an empire. But I had a hobby and was self-employed in 2018 and moved into business. I'm now ready to go further. But you've got to let your higher self guide you. And I'm still learning with LifeWave. And I find that I'm still having to meet my own employee mentality and move past these mindsets. Just moving past and listen to the stories that you're telling yourself, so that You can switch your stories or expand them, because stories are easily remembered. So if you truly understand what your story is and then up level it, you can change what you're putting through your body. How much time do I have? Okay, a little bit more time. So I can keep talking, can I, Chris?
Please do, please do. Check the
Okay.
notes. I'm just writing notes and notes here. Oh my word.
So the other thing that has been quite a journey for me since I started network marketing was finding my own authenticity. At first, you're looking at your mentor, you're seeing how they're doing it, you're doing a certain amount of replication, but within that replication, if you truly want to become an SPD, I think, and I can't say for sure yet because I haven't put that through my cellular, but the data hasn't gone in yet, but I know that for myself, finding my own authenticity is a big part of what that's going to be. How am I authentic in what I do? Am I magnetic and attractive? I don't really want to be sales and hustle. I want to rather be magnetic. I want to be attractive. Um, who do I then become doing what I do, and at the same time rank and move up and make more money? But essentially, for me, service is quite high up in my authenticity. And so making the money in part is a bit of a byproduct of what I do, but let's be realistic. I really want to be able to have a much bigger income stream to lead the life that I want to lead. But what I have learned most is leading myself and coaching myself to come into alignment, and how I can be skillful and resourceful to bring my own talents to the fore. That's been really important. But when I've needed help, like if the admin is just getting me down, how do I attract the right people to add value to what I'm doing when you get to that level? But I've constantly had to ask myself, what's most important to me and what motivates me? Ask it really deeply. What is my desire? Because it's not a wishy-washy thing. And a lot of us are, when we begin, it's like a little bit wishy-washy. Oh, I'd like to make money. Oh, I'd like to make SPD. That's the rank I'm dreaming of now. But um, somehow you've got to be able to ask what your desires are, like truly what's motivating, what's your why, to stay in your lane and focus on you. Otherwise, if you're not staying in your lane and focusing on you, there can be a lot of energy that's just like all over the place, because you're seeing what other people are doing. You want to get there, you want to do it this way, you want to do it that way, and this is where replication comes in. If you're replicating but finding your own authentic way of doing it, I think that's where we start to find our own inner success. And you have to keep on asking yourself each day what motivates you. For some of us, it will be the money. For others, it will be in service to others. For others, it will just be, I need to upgrade my life. But ask it deeply. What am I dreaming of? And doing that inner work, the outer starts to look more amazing. But here is where I found personally that I had to cultivate a relationship with LifeWave, the company. I've had to understand David Schmidt more. I've had to be inspired by him, because the company requires that we be of service. It's the nature of the work that we do. We find people who are in trouble, who are in our ill health, who are not feeling well. We need to be of service to them. And it is one of the laws of nature that the more you serve, the more you receive. And the foundation of this network marketing company is of being service to others. So in a sense, it's a bit of a no-brainer. You're stepping into a company that is aligned with natural law. For me, that's a really big pull. That's a really big draw card. So I see LifeWave as an opportunity to be healed and to pull my power back and to become more me. It's a way to say yes to experiences that will get you back to your whole, worthy, and authentic self, because you're experiencing a way of engaging with people that you would not have if you had not said yes to this business and starting to patch. So it's a way of self-improvement, development, and transformation that can go quicker. It's a business system for your own evolution and growth, and to walk this for life. And I love that. I love that. So it brings me to some of the blocks for growth. And I've certainly had to look at these in quite a big way. So, you want to manifest and it's not happening. Like, what blocks me? What is blocking us from receiving what we've asked for? It's easy to be inspired, but what do you really want to manifest? Those inspiration hits are great, like go onto social media, get your inspiration hit, but it's actually vaporous. It's meaningless when we don't understand what our own blocks are. It can be very inspiring to listen to somebody who's manifesting. But if you don't understand what your blocks are, it's meaningless. It's just inspiration, it's fluff. So let's talk about these blocks. It's truly about an embodied experience. You have to do something with your physical body to feel it and move the codes through in order to walk to the next stage, to feel the codes, to learn the next level. Your body is your decoder, people. That's why we're patching. That's why we're putting patches on ourselves, because we've realized, oh, hell, I'm stuck. I'm sick. I'm sore. I don't know where to go with myself. Your body is your decoder, and LifeWave patches are helping you decode your system. How quickly can you bring yourself into your body when you've left it? How do you come back to an embodied experience? You understand what your blocks are. And I'll tell you what most people's blocks are: pain, shame, programming, leaning back, wounds, and core wounds. We're energetically blocking ourselves. We're blocking what we want to come through because we're not looking at the pain, we're not looking at the shame, we're not looking at how we've been programmed, we're not looking at how we're leaning back instead of leaning in, and we're not looking at our wounds and our core wounds. It's painful, we don't want to. So this limits our full potential, limits our ability to manifest, and we create those limitations. And so we're running energies in our body, and you're energetically blocking yourself. The energies you run are how you think, feel, speak, your actions. But if you're in your power, you can master your energy and be conscious about changing. And it's not just about positive thinking. There are physical blocks that stop you from radiating your light so that you're not as magnetic. If your energy field is what is blocking your energy and flow, your mix of beliefs and pain and your programming, you're blocking out what can come true, and there's no space for it. You're blocking out what you're asking to receive. So when we really work with this product, this beautiful product that we've been given through LifeWave, we're starting to see what blocks are limiting us. We're starting to reprogram the body. We're lifting our own light frequency. And we can now, having done that inner work, move and open to different potentialities. Some of us will go quicker than others, and it doesn't actually matter. It's not about the speed that you do this. It's that you're doing it. It's not about the speed. Don't look at everybody else and go, oh, but where are they or there? Don't do that. You're stepping out of your lane if you do that. It's not about the speed. It's about your own journey. Fall in love with the journey, not the money or the rank. Fall in love with the journey, not the goal. The rest will come with it. It's about who you become and not necessarily what you achieve. And in understanding that, that's when the rest starts to fall into place. Fall more in love with who you are becoming and what you want to achieve. So your blocks can sometimes be part of whether you're attracting the right kind of customer. Your blocks, am I willing to become the person that removes all those blocks so that I can receive, is the question that you have to keep asking yourself. And yeah, so limiting your own potential and freedom, reflecting on these things is really, really important because they will match your current level. And I know that it does for me. I'm recognizing my blocks and where they match my current level in my own business. And but the next level is doable. It's there because when we recognize that we can step into that new expansion and growth each time, constantly growing. And we also have to, what I've learned from my working in network marketing is that we have to build our businesses so that everyone can be free and we're not limiting others. That's also quite important. So yeah, it's important to understand what the blockages are, but move into your own authenticity. It's interesting. There's one other thing that I wanted to speak about briefly, and that has come up for me recently, and I want to share it. It's some of the symptoms when you go out of alignment. When you fall out of alignment, some of the symptoms are you are bored out, you are burnt out, or you are bent out of shape. We're not looking for perfection. It's about showing up as you are today, and it requires courage and not being afraid. But if you are bored out, burnt out, or bent out, there's something a little bit out of alignment. And again, it's coming back to your own authenticity, diffusing authenticity. And it might not be something people see, but people will feel it. People will feel it. So yeah, seeing where you're leaking your energy and power and where you're being diluted, you'll see what's happening with your alignment. There's physical signs, especially as you get to the higher ranks. There can be various anxieties, there can be magic that's diluted, there can be annoyance, powerlessness sometimes, and this is at some of the higher ranks, by the way. You're always having to up level. And so yeah, so bored out is when your gifts and talents, you're letting them sleep. It's when they're awake, it's impossible to be bored. And when you're burnt out, you're feeling overworked, empty inside, you're leaking too much energy. And when you're bent out, your boundaries aren't in place. People are eating you up. You're being pushed around. And as you rank higher, you got to look out for being bent out. You got to look out for where your boundaries are and people eating you up. It's just a fact. But it requires a certain amount of confidence in yourself to find joy, alignment, and love. So yeah, that brings me to my closing, which is about shining your light, being in your own unique place so that opportunities can find you, so that purpose finds you, and that people will find you. The more that you shine your light, the more people will find you. But what I have discovered is that you find you. You find out who you are because you're unique. And your own soul essence is yours. Your own frequency is yours. It's your unique calling, your unique path. And although we're replicating in this business, you're doing it in your unique way. And that's what's so magnificent. When I see how somebody else is doing the business sometimes, or how somebody else shares, it gives me inspiration. But I can't do it exactly like they are doing it because they're unique. That's their way. That's their way. And so, yeah, for me, I don't want to get trapped in a web of my own making within these businesses. You want to be magnetic, be radically yourself, take self-ownership of this business for everything you've created, and attract what you need. So, being grateful for who you are and who you're becoming and really naming your best qualities. Be good at naming your own best qualities, because then you're not depleting life. You're regenerating your life constantly. I'm really grateful for who I am and who I'm becoming, and understanding who am I for myself. I'm not a seller. I'm a coach and a teacher and an activator. So, I won't have paying points on my opening web page. I just want a grounded, open, beautiful page with information. But I'm shifting. And in future, I may just have a pay point on my opening web page. It's quite likely. But you've got to understand where you are now. so that, you know, if you're not comfortable with playing on people's pay points, and you just want to add value to people's lives, that's your value system now. It can change. It absolutely can change. And this is where being self-led, and making decisions for yourself is so important, but having a mentor to bounce these decisions off, you know. And I don't know whether any of you know about the drama triangle, where you have a hero, a villain, and a victim. And that drama triangle can flip all the time. And we have it in business, we have it in relationships. You know, you can fall into your drama triangles. What if you flip that and it becomes a freedom triangle? And you realize that at the top is LifeWave, the company. And then below, you have yourself and the patches. And I've separated LifeWave, the company, from the patches. Why? Because it's really special and quite important to understand that you work with something called LifeWave, the company, and the patches are actually completely different from how the company operates itself. The company is paying you, you do it, that's all through the company, but your relationship with the patches is just as important as your relationship with the company itself. And how you understand the company. But essentially here, you're the founder of your own business and life, and you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for your upline, you're not doing it for your downline. But in understanding where the freedom is, you have a strong base of you and the product, the patches. And how does that relate with the company itself? And understanding, you know, how the value that somebody like David Schmidt is adding to our lives and so many other people. There's 3 partners that you're making this agreement with, and that's LifeWave, the patches, and yourself. And LifeWave and the patches are split because they're stronger this way, and yet it's still a closed system and it's unity. You're founder of your unity. It's a lifelong partnership you're creating here. And but there's shift and flexibility within that, because at one point the patches might be the most important thing, and at others the company might be the most important thing, and at others you might be at the top of the triangle. If things shift, the perspectives shift, but it's infused with aliveness and life, and the whole time it's really about your own self-responsibility in this lifelong lasting partnership that you're creating with these 3 energies. It takes time to build up. It's taken time for me to understand it. It's definitely going to take time to master. But the energy that we want to stream through this triangle of patches, LifeWave, yourself, is freedom and love. Love is the one thing that keeps the energy fresh with gratitude, and this is a blessing, counting the blessings. And you have to make mistakes to move and embrace those mistakes, because it's the only way that we learn. And not being afraid of making the mistakes, that's your superpower, right? So yeah, understanding the product I spoke about very briefly before, because there's magic in being a brand partner for LifeWave, because we have the phototherapeutic value of the patches streaming into the body, and something happens with those patches. It is potent, it is efficient for creating aliveness and freshness. And so we coach this for others. Our customers need to understand this. We need to understand it in our body to add value to other people with full integrity and empowerment. Potential customers don't know what aliveness feels like. They're used to being numb and too busy and not awake. They have no idea how to feel more alive. And we can seem really annoying to them, particularly if they don't know that they want to change. And I've seen the annoyance. So finding that balance is really important, but always remembering your own freedom, and that in the end, and your energy is going to be what matters. So leading yourself, doing it for yourself, and yeah, just being self-led, motivated, inspired. If you're not feeling inspired, look for inspiration. Look, you know, yeah, so I just want to finish with a gratitude to LifeWave for me, because you know, coming back to why this word communication is so important, and why it's such a great company to partner with, is because those patches are powerful on a communication on a cellular level. They're communicating with your cells. X39 makes you understand this. And, it's connecting you on every level: spiritual, energetic body, emotional. We have a product that supports communication within your body by up or down regulation of specific pathways, and with something natural, no interactions. And the body receives, responds. And this is the reason that LifeWave products help the body to come into balance. The body reacts in health and in a balanced way, and can respond with the patches in a healthy way. But it's all about communication. And that inward communication goes on the outside. How you communicate what these patches are is everything. That's how you build your business. So, yeah, in closing, we are truth seekers. And that's why LifeWave patches have found you. And they are there to transform suffering. And then eventually, those that are transformed through their suffering also become truth seekers. And this is because we are on a planetary ascension cycle, one that requires higher frequency living, in which to survive the frequency changes. And so we're at a critical stage in human history. Either we change and evolve, or we perish. And we're being asked to seek the hard truth found inside all things, and then to defend the truth frequency in every aspect of our lives. And this will keep us perfectly aligned with the spiritual armor of light. LifeWave is more than healing only physical ailments. We're here to maintain inner liquid light frequency. Hint, you have to drink a lot of water when you patch. And we're here to share, share, share. So, yeah, re-enroll yourselves on a daily basis. And don't forget why we're here in the first place. Thank you so much for listening. I know that I jabbered on for a long time. Thank you, Chris. It was a real pleasure being here. Thank you, everyone.
All I can say is wow, 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 with capital letters. Shasta, that was absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, I've just been writing notes after notes after notes here. And thank you. I am so inspired by what you just shared now. And I think every single person on this call feels the same way. And I mean, just looking at the messages, I don't know if you've seen just the message after message after message, and the groups. People need to watch this training. And guys, who type in, who do you guys reckon that Shasta is going to be SPD within 6 months? You just type in there, yes. I mean, is this like an SPD in the making or what? I mean, look, there we go. Look at all the yeses coming in. So this is information coming towards you because this is done already. You are an SPD already. I think everybody knows that after tonight. I've known it right from the start. You've all known that. But there's a certain process that you need to go through before getting there, and certain growth phases that you need to go through. And I think people learned a hell of a lot. There we go. More like 3 months. Mariska, I think you're right. 6 months, I'm like, I don't know so much. Before the end of the year, hands down, hands down. The biggest thing is, guys, we're beacons of light, as you've all heard David Schmidt say, and we're not here by accident. Every single part of us that are on this journey are not here by accident. Do you think it's coincidence that X39 was launched like 5 months before the pandemic? Do you think there's a coincidence there? No coincidence. It took David Schmidt 10 years. Guys, it took David Schmidt 10 years to bring the X39 to the marketplace, and $4.5 million of his own money. People don't realize what was put in place for us. Mm-hmm. Guys, this is a 20-year-old company. The foundation, as Shasta was saying in the beginning, this is your own business on another man's capital. David Schmidt is the one that worked his butt off in the beginning. You think we get rejection? Guys, what do you think David Schmidt felt like 20 years ago? People thought that he was from another planet, right? And all this is in place, and all we've got to share. And, Shasta, what really stood out for me a lot was you're looking for people that want to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think too many times we can see the change that others should be going through, but they don't see it themselves. Now we get frustrated. So we're not quite in frequency yet. We're a little bit out of tune. And that's why we've got to go back and forth, back and forth. And that's where the self-development comes in. You sort of get on tune so you can see each other eye to eye, because a lot of times you can do this very easily. And I think you definitely highlighted that, because once you are in tune with yourself, it's what you radiate out and you become the magnet. Because I was talking to my brother today, my brother here in the UK. We haven't seen each other for 7 years. And we were talking about a lot of things. And we were talking about the programming. And my brother was talking about at the level of the business where you're at now. He's like, do you still go out there? Are you still doing this? Are you still doing that? I said, I do a lot of everything. But at the moment right now, a lot of people are coming to me. So he goes, what do you mean? And I used the word magnet. So I got goosebumps when you said magnet, because I used that with my brother earlier on today. That's what eventually starts to happen. You attract all the people. And then the last thing I want to say is the word unlimited. I'm so glad you used that in the beginning, Shasta. I think when people really start to understand what we're sitting on, this beautiful industry, getting us out of that maze, getting us out of the box. And that's all because of programming and conditioning. Because, guys, this system was developed to keep us in these invisible chains, mentally, you name it. And this is the one industry where you can break free and make a difference, compounding, moving forward on an exponential level, where you're helping people on a global scale, not a handful of people. It becomes thousands, hundreds of thousands, then millions. And as David Schmidt says, he wants to patch 1 billion people. That's our job. That's our job, to get out there, and we will patch 1 billion. God, 1 billion, that's with a B. A billion, that's a lot of people. And how do you do that? How do you patch 1 billion people in this beautiful industry, in this magic industry? Only way that we do it. And guys said, oh, did you guys know that Shasta is a helicopter pilot? Shasta can fly helicopters. I thought I'd just let you guys know that. We were talking about that the other day. And when we talk about thinking big, yes, paying bills is important. Shasta, I'm so glad you brought that up in the beginning. We live in a physical world where physical bills still need to be paid, right? I mean, that's important. We've got to pay. You don't want to end up slipping that you got your back so badly against the wall you can't get up. So, it's like your 9 to 5 pays your bills, but your 6 to 10 creates your empire. Okay. So do that, but then get past that stage of just paying bills. We've been created here to live abundantly on this planet, not to suffer. And we need to break free of those limited beliefs that we have. So Shasta and I were talking the other day. I went for a helicopter ride, and then we were chatting, and then we said, okay, let's set proper goals. Let's set proper goals. We're going to, because we're about 4-hour drive from each other. And we thought, why am we going to go and drive to each other when we can just get a helicopter and fly to each other? Why not? That's called the magic of thinking big. Anything is possible. So Shasta, quickly finish off and just tell us about when are we going to be getting that helicopter?
R44, it'll have to be a 44. I like the R22, but the R44 is the one it has to be, because it needs to be a 4-seater.
The R44, got you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we're going to be getting that kit. So we're going to be building our helicopters together. Let's set that as a goal. And like you say,
Well,
guys,
I won't be building an R44. You might build a Firefox, but not an R44. That one you have to buy off the shop floor.
oh, guys, all about, you know what, thinking big and having fun. Having fun. And Chess, I'm so glad you brought that back into it. So, guys, if you, I hope you all took notes. Everybody is already messaging me. When can we get the recording out? So the faster we leave, the faster I can start editing. The faster I can get the recording out. So, Shasta, from my side, thank you, thank you for absolutely beautiful training tonight. Thank you, and guys, hope you all enjoyed it.
No, thank you for inviting me, Chris. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. Pleasure. Okay, guys, enjoy your weekend. And we will see you guys on the silver screen next week. Good night, everybody. Love you all. Bye-bye, everyone.